Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Silence of Shame Courtside chat with the incredible Chlöe Bailey and the amazing Trae Young, presented by the Atlanta Hawks in Silence of Shame, moderated by yours truly, Shanti Das, aka Auntie Shanti. Y'all can call me Auntie Shanti. And the purpose of this chat is to encourage teens to take care of their mental well-being. We acknowledge that this has been a really tough 2 years for you all. So today, we want to empower you and we want to inspire you. We also want to encourage you to talk to a trusted adult because we know it can get tough at times. And guess what? Your parents really do want to make sure that you're safe. And I know sometimes you're like, I don't know if I can talk to my parents, but just kind of be open to sharing with your parents. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents, talk to someone like me, an auntie or an uncle, a coach, a school counselor, a religious or spiritual leader. I mean, all of these are great options. The bottom line is you really should talk to someone. And we want you to reach out for help sooner than later. And always remember to take care of you. So now I want to just introduce these two incredible artists and athletes today. And we just want to thank them for giving up their time around this really important topic. So first of all, ladies first, I would like to introduce the talented and beautiful Chlöe Bailey, known as Chlöe, who is also a Georgia native. Yes, Georgia Peaches in the house. She's an American singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, and record producer. She is best known for being one half of the musical duo Chloe times Halle, her sister Halle Bailey, which we also love. And together they've earned 5 Grammy Award nominations since 2018. And in 2021, Chlöe released her debut single, Have Mercy, as a lead single from her upcoming solo debut album. So let's give it up. Welcome, Chlöe.
Hi. How are you?
Thank you again for being here. And certainly last but not least, and we are doing this partnership with the Hawks, and we're just so grateful that this gentleman gave of his time today. Let's introduce the amazing Trae Young, also known as, I like to call him Ice Trae, from the Atlanta Hawks Basketball Association. Trae was selected in 2019 as a member of the U.S. men's basketball select team. He is a 2-time All-Star for the NBA All-Star Weekend. And last season, falling out of control, Trae averaged 25.3 points per game. And he led, yes, ladies and gentlemen, he led the NBA in total free throws made. So Trae, again, welcome. And thank you both to you and Chlöe.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So I want to read a little blurb so everybody can kind of get a context of what this is about. The ongoing stress, fear, grief, and uncertainty created by COVID-19 and the pandemic has weighed heavily on children and teens. And as a result, many are having a tough time coping emotionally. Many families have also lost jobs and had vital support such as school, healthcare services, and other community programs interrupted. For example, before COVID-19, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention data found 1 in 5 children had a mental health disorder. Still, only about 20% of those children receive care from a mental health provider, and that is a low percentage rate. So whether youth face trauma because of child abuse, loss of a family member, or everyday anxiety about the virus and unpredictable routines, they need even more support now. So again, let's jump right in. Trae, I have a question for you. Why do you think it's essential for us to talk about mental health?
I think it's essential. It's one of the hottest topics nowadays, and it's one of the first things that people bring up as far as important topics to talk about. It's a real thing. I think now people are starting to speak their minds a little bit more on things that they see and what they believe, and mental health is at the top of the discussion. And even as athletes or entertainers, we all go through it. So I think it's very important to always talk about it.
Absolutely. Start with you, Chlöe. Can you share any current or past challenges you've experienced with your mental health?
Yes, well, I think they are still ongoing. And I feel like we never really conquer it fully. It's kind of like ebbs and flows. Maybe one day we're doing better than others. And for me, I'm realizing that it's okay to take time off, and that I'm realizing the reason why I throw myself into work so much is because that's when my mind is distracted the most. And right now I'm trying to learn how to appreciate the off days where I'm not doing anything, where we kind of let our thoughts get the best of us. And it's like, what's my purpose? What am I here for? Blah, 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 blah. And, it's just me learning to enjoy the simple things in life. And where I am supposed to get my validation is from myself and God, and, doing all of that. So that's my mental health journey currently. So I feel like we never fully conquer it. It's like constant going up and down. So
Yeah, I agree. I think, life every day brings on a new challenge, right? And so you have to kind of do what you feel in the moment. And I've watched both, your social media channels as well as Trae. And again, I like how you all kind of, take time for yourself and you pour into yourself. That's a really big deal. Thank you for that, Chlöe. And, with you being a public figure, which means, some of the aspects of your life are available for everybody to see, right? Considering the impact of social media, that can be a great and sometimes a not so great thing. So, Trae, how do you take care of yourself while managing social media and living in the public eye at the same time?
Yeah, luckily I was able to, Chloe as well was able to really grow up in the social media era and kind of got to experience this all. I've had social media since middle school, so high school and things like that. So just really understanding the importance of it, but also understanding how bad it can be if you don't use it the right way. And for me, I just personally, I like using it to just reach out to people who are following me, my fans and things like that, to be a positive influence, and just try to use it to my advantage, and just try to spread the positivity and things like that as much as I can.
I love that. And I love watching your feed. You really are truly inspirational, to the fans and everybody else that are watching. So just thank you for using your platform in that way. I think it's so important. I also want to ask you, Chlöe, how have you managed the naysayers, right, or the criticism received specifically during these challenging times? Because we know social media can often be like the highlight reel, and sometimes we're reading the comments, or even just, from fans you might encounter or people. How do you block out that noise and really like recenter yourself?
yeah, well, social media is like a blessing and a curse, because online is how my sister and I even got started because of YouTube and everything. So it's like from an early age, I've kind of learned how to deal with negativity in the comments, and we're all human. Of course, like when you're scrolling and you'll see like all these incredible things people say about you. And it's always that one shitty thing where you're like, okay, what if this is true? This is how I'm looking at myself now. You start getting in your head. And I remember like early on, I was like telling myself, I'm just being myself. So maybe I should change myself a little bit to appease people. But it's like at the end of the day, then you're not pleasing yourself. And so I'm just learning to kind of take it with a grain of salt and being like, at least people are talking. People care enough to have your name in their mouth. So I'm like, it's fine.
That's a good way to look at it. And
Yeah.
kind of like, what was, back in the day when people say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And so,
Yeah. But the thing is, words do hurt. And
yeah.
I feel like even with social media now, whether you do have a big platform or not, words will hurt, and it's causing a lot of people a lot of pain. Also, comparisons online, FOMO, people are saying, why am I not here in my life like this person is or my peer is? So I feel like social media is a blessing and a curse. Like we can connect with our friends and family more, but it's also challenging our mental health, and any insecurities that we have, it amplifies it times 1,000. So I feel like it's important to have a support system around us outside of social media to kind of confide in, so we can kind of take mental breaks from that world. Because if we're constantly in it and constantly feeding ourselves that content, it will only kind of do something to our spirit.
100%. 100%. I saw you nodding, Trae. Did you want to say something to that?
Yeah, no, I just know she's speaking facts. That's all I know. I just nodding that.
No doubt, no doubt. So, Trae, I want to ask you, historically, people have not been open in terms of talking about mental wellness. As you both kind of have mentioned, people are talking about it more. Why do you think so many athletes now choose to share their stories and lend their voices to the conversation? Because we have, so many people from Naomi, to, other basketball players, and just a ton of people that are opening up now to share.
Yeah, no, I think Chloe said it best. I think it's just more of a topic of discussion now, and people are starting to talk about it, and they should. And I think people look at athletes and entertainers and people of, I mean, maybe a high stature and just see that what they have and just think that they have it all and everything's good and everything's great for them. But I mean, we're human at the end of the day. We're all the same, and we all go through the same types of things. And mental health is something that I've always had to deal with, and I know a lot of people have had to deal with it. So I think it's great that it's a topic of discussion right now, and it's important that people know that, I mean, we go through the same things that they go through too.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Trae. And Chlöe, I want to ask you, so now we know it's a topic of discussion and that we all, right, no matter if you're a student, or a teenager or an athlete or a singer like yourself or producer, that we all go through it. But how do we take that next step further, right, to care for ourselves? So I'm curious, Chlöe, have you ever worked with a therapist or professional or life coach or anyone to address mental health challenges or help maintain your mental wellness, like really having proactive self-care?
Yeah, well, I've never had a therapist yet. I say yet because I never know if I would ever do that. I think therapy is amazing. And honestly, if I didn't have my godmom to vent to after every single thing I go through in my life, I probably would have a therapist. But, I just find it important to have an outlet. And I think that's why I throw myself into music so much, because the things that I wouldn't really say or be able to articulate verbally, I'm able to say in the music, because I hate confrontation. I always just want to please people. I want everyone to be fine, and I never want them to feel uncomfortable. So I tend to put myself and my feelings and emotions on the back burner, but the place where I can get them out is through the music. And that's the most nerve-wracking feeling, when the person who is causing you whatever negative emotions or feelings finally does hear the music. It's a bit freeing in a way, and also scary, because you're finally letting people hear what's in your soul that you were scared to say in the first place. So it's really just music and God, lots of prayer for me. And I talk to my godmom like every second of the day.
I love that. And as I mentioned earlier in the beginning, having somebody to talk to, right? So you have your godmother as that outlet, right? As that confidant, as that protector for you. I actually, Auntie Shanti, I see a therapist, but it took a while. It took me really losing my sister 3 years ago, and I just lost my mother. And so even going through grief, the last 2 weeks of my mom, it has put me in a place that I know I need to continue to talk to someone. Because even though I do this work around mental health, I have to protect my own, right? So our parents, our teachers, the students, the teens, we want everybody to know that it's important to have somebody to talk to. So I thank you and honor you for that, and the way you've been able to create your personal space of self-care, and to keep that going, and to be able to share that through your music, which we absolutely love. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, Trae, I want to go back to you. So we know that being mentally healthy, right, and having a good mindset to stay connected so you can have that, optimal performance, right, on the court, being your best self. What are some of the things that you do to stay focused, to kind of, as they say, keep your head in the game throughout the season?
For me, I get back to my roots, and I stick to family, and I'm surround myself with the right people and look at the right things. I'm not necessarily on social media all the time, if I don't have to be. And but for me, I'm surround myself with the right people, my family, and stick with the people around me to keep my head right. This is a long season. NBA is a long season. You play a lot of games, so to just every night, just always continue to think about what I need to do to prepare myself mentally, physically. It's a lot that goes into a season. So it's a lot, but I have a tight circle, people that really care about me and that I can really go to around me. So that really helps me.
I love that. And I can imagine working out helps you feel good too. I
Oh,
know
for
a
sure.
lot of times that, you get your endorphins going, and it makes you feel good, right?
Oh yeah. Anytime I'm playing, for me, it's like 2.5 hours away from reality. So that's how I think about it. So I like working out. That gets my head clear for sure.
I love that. Thanks, Trae. So, Chloe, I'm going to come back to you. And I want to, again, thank you for sharing your experiences and advocating for your peers. How do you think your voice and work is helping others to manage their mental well being at this time? Because I've seen you speak openly on social media. And again, thank you for that.
Of course, I feel like it's important to be vulnerable and honest and authentic because there's so many people at home thinking like I'm feeling this way, what's wrong with me? But in reality, we're all feeling the exact same way. And we all have issues and we're all going through problems and we're all learning the best way to deal with them. So I think that's why I'm so open about it, because if me talking about it will make another girl or a guy be comfortable to open up to their family or their friend about how they're feeling, then, I'm doing my job. And even though like we're all the same, we're all human, so I feel like anyone in this position would be open and honest, so none of us feel alone. And I think growing up and hearing like artists and musicians that I admired being open and speaking freely about their mental health journey made me feel less alone as well. And I'm so happy that now it seems like this generation is taking it more seriously and it's not a subject that people are scared to touch on so much. So I am grateful for that. And, as I'm speaking out about mental health and things to make myself feel better, it's like as I'm speaking it out to this audience, I'm constantly telling myself that. So it's not like I'm just preaching it. It's just almost a reminder to myself.
I love that. And I want to thank you. You actually were one of the first artists to support Silence the Shame 5 years ago, you and your sister. So
Yeah.
hopefully you don't mind. We still use that video because
No, I don't mind at all.
love you all.
Yeah, you supported us like when we were like little in Atlanta. So yeah, we always got you.
I love you guys. Thank you. So Trae, I noticed that you do these really cool daily posts, another day, another opportunity. And I know we could probably look at that from a lot of different aspects, but you want to kind of explain to us what that means?
Yeah, for me, I use that and I post it every day, not only as a reminder to myself, but to a reminder to everybody. I use it as a reminder to myself that any day you wake up, it's another opportunity to be better at something. And whether it's being a better big brother or being a better teammate, I'm always just trying to be better at something the next day. So I always wake up with that mindset, and I just try to spread that positivity and hope people have that same mindset every day, that we can be better each and every day at something.
I love that. That is beautiful. So we're about to kind of wrap this up. We're just so grateful that you guys gave of your time today. I just want to ask you all, what do you all do for self-care, right? Because self-care looks different for everybody. I know, Trae, you talked a little bit about working out, but is it anything else? Like, do y'all like to take walks, or do you like to draw, or massages, or anything cool that you like to do when it's really just like Trae time or Chloe time? So we'll start with you, Trae.
Well, for me, I'm a big movies person, so I sneak out to the movie theaters every now and then, get out. I like watching movies.
Do you like any old school movies? I'm the auntie in the room, so how about any 90s throwbacks or anything?
Nah, I like all movies. You probably seen 90 movies. I've probably seen them. So definitely. The movies for me is a scapegoat for me, just to get away.
I love that. What about you, Chloe? What do you do for Chloe time?
For Chloe time, okay, so I'm such a like really big nerd. So if I'm home alone, I like order like the 1,000, 2,000 piece Lego sets, and I'll do them till it's finished, and then I'll put like a good show in the background. So I'll do that, or I'll go to the ocean because I love the water. And I eat food. That's what I do. Like if I just need to like chill out, those are the three things I'll do.
I love that. I love that. Any closing words from you two? Anything you'd like to say to our teens today, and just impart any final thoughts of the incredible wisdom you've already given us and blessed us with today, Trae?
For me, I just want to appreciate. I always appreciate Chloe. We've done some things together. She's always speaks her mind, and it's great that people get to hear her and her side of things. It's always amazing, and appreciate everybody listening today. And just want everybody to continue to be a positive light, not only your family's life, but in your neighbor next to you, because that could affect somebody else's too. So that's just the last thing I gotta say. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I'm so grateful for this platform. So thank you, Shanti. And I was happy to speak about this with you too, Trae. And I think it's just so important so none of us feel alone and to remind ourselves that we are enough. And even though we are at different points in our journey, it's okay to just be open and honest. And I hope this helps even at least one person. And yeah, we got to do this more.
Sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you both. And I want to say to the parents that are tuning in, here are 5 tips for self-care and wellness that you can talk to your teens about. Encourage them to share their feelings, number 1. Number 2 is you got to take time to support them, right? Because sometimes if teens or kids say something to you and, parents may be so busy you blow it off, but you really got to listen, right? So if they come to you with something, take your time and support them. The third thing is work through conflict together, right? We need all parties involved to find a good resolution. Care for yourself too as parents, right? Because we go so hard and you work so hard, but you want to make sure you care for yourself as you care for your children. And the last thing is learn to recognize signs of crisis for your teens. There's some really good resources out there, silencetheshame.com, NAMI.org. We're going to be providing more to you all. But just thank you so much to everybody that tuned in today to our courtside chat with Trae Young and Chlöe, and we just honor you all, and we ask you to take time for yourself, pour back into yourselves, and really listen to one another. I think if we didn't learn anything else in the pandemic is sometimes we have to be quiet and sit still and listen to ourselves and listen to the people in our inner circle. Trae, you said you had that close inner circle, so let's all give each other enough grace and space so we can heal together. So we honor you, and on behalf of the Atlanta Hawks and Silence the Shame, we thank you. And we send you blessings and greetings of wellness and self-care. Thank you so much.